Good afternoon, everyone. It's 5:01 on the clock. 5 is the Hierophant, 1 is the Magician. It also could be the 50, the 10 of Cups, and the 1 of the Magician, which is the emotional fulfillment, happy endings, happy family. And the Magician, of course, of manifesting, finding your confidence, all the tools that you need. Let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. Another deep breath. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. I so appreciate you guys. Okay, well, I have some messages of the day. I have a union read and a twin flame read, and so let's get right into it. I'm going to roll the die first to see what energies are coming up for the twin flames today. It is October 13th, 2021. Okay, we have the number 12. Okay, so the 12 for me is the hangman. So traditionally it's Pisces, but I always get Capricorn for that, which also is the 12th month, Sag to Capricorn. We have Mercury here, which is all about communication, and Virgo and Gemini. And then we have Aquarius here for the sign. Signs. I'm getting signs, right? So instead of communication through like traditional Virgo or Gemini energy, it's communication through Aquarius, through signs and synchronicities. And then the 12 of completion, which is also the hangman of Jesus on the cross, which Jesus and Mary Magdalene were coming up very much this week. And that alternative communication style, right? And then the cord between the twins, of course, several different ways of nonverbal communication. So the pictures here, we have here is the union read for today. It is the 4D, 5D, 6D, incoming divine feminine, outgoing divine masculine. The feminine's on the left, masculine's on the right, and the bridge between them in the center. The underlying energy here and the closing energy over here. That's the Page of Pentacles, if it looks a little bit dark to see. And then we have the read in front of you. I forgot the basic snapshot, but just so you know, the cards under here, the block card is the Lovers right here, and then the 2 of Cups is right underneath it. So we have the 2 of Cups and the Lovers here, and here is the main card for the read. This is the 7-deck read. There's a lot of energy, so don't force every message to fit. If you want something more specific or personalized to you, you can see my information below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com, as well as I have a CD out there called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames by Evelyn Stainthorpe. If you want to check that out as well, it's only $1 for a song, and that'll definitely help you bring up some heart-based clearing and wounds. And let's see what else. We have 2 messages of the day. This one has 2 parts to it. This is the same read as the second picture. And these are all the Animal Spirit deck, the Reverie, the Gilded Reverie, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and then the Kibber deck. And then this last message is here. They were both done today. And, I wanted to show you this too. This is from the Past Life deck. And that's from an extension of Many Lives, Many Masters author. Is that Brian Weiss? I believe I'm right. Okay, so I pulled these for myself just before the read. And there's wounding definitely coming up that's very typical of the twin flame template, so I wanted to bring it up. And so let's get going here. So we have Where are we? Okay. So this was very significant too. I have a flower basket hanging in my bedroom. And it's been there for, I know it's been there over 20 years, somewhere between 20 and 22 years, which is also significant because we're right now in 2020, 21, 22. And the string that holds it onto the hook to the ceiling broke while I was sleeping last night. And I went to bed. I know I looked at the clock when it was 1:44 last night. And then again, I think it probably woke me up when I was sleeping, but I don't remember what time it was. I know I looked at the clock, but I forget what time it was because I saw a flower on the floor and I looked up and it had fallen to the floor. So there's definitely, the message I was getting was a big shift regarding, well, healthcare's been coming up all week, but the message around that shift was coming up regarding the empowerment of us to be able to heal ourselves as opposed to depending on others. And that can be health, but it can be other emotional, spiritual type healings as well. Excuse me. Guess I'm still clearing. I'm a little bit burpy. Okay. Okay, so at 8:55 this morning, I pulled a few quick messages of the day, just a few cards, and then it guided me into the big read. So the first one was at 8:55 this morning, the 8 of the dance, the manifestation of the 55, which is the truth, the Ace of Swords, Excalibur. The underlying energy was a hummingbird coming out, which in the animal spirit deck is very much that high vibrational vibration with the wings. And the clearing, that they just, flap their wings and they clear automatically. It's so strong. It's such a high vibration. And then that was the underlying energy into the buffalo, the frog, and the cosmic egg, which is, the buffaloes are very well grounded, yet heavenly energy too. The frog is the one, right, who's trying to become the prince. And then we had the cosmic egg, which can reference the new birth of something, whether it's a child or something else. And I noticed that I was smelling like baby smell, like the way your babies smell. And a mother always remembers that energy, right? Because she's always holding her baby. That smell came up, and then that was at 9:06, which is the Hermit and the Lovers. And then at 9:09, I pulled a few more cards. And it was the bear and the underlying energy, which we've been getting that hibernation energy of the bear not wanting to wake up. But that was along with the snake, the cheetah, the hawk, and the starfish. The sleeping bear rising from the ashes in the collective awakening where the chi is awakened here, with the hawk clearing the way, just like the hummingbird. And Kitty Hawk was coming up here. I was getting Myra too. But Kitty Hawk and First in Flight was coming up, which is Delaware, I believe. But also, there may be something that you did your first of, or that you are the first in. First in Flight, and that was at 9:13, which is the Hermit and the Death card or transition. And then here's the big read. So at 9:44 was this big message of the day, which is the 9 of the Hermit, the 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, or the energy of boredom and apathy, or feeling sorry for oneself. But it's also in the numerology book, the Divine Triangle. It's considered the Atlas energy, but very much around social work and that weight of the world upon your shoulders. The underlying energy here was the Tiger, the Book, the Two of Wands reversed, and thoughts. My octopus teacher with rainbow thinking cap on, the hawk clearing the way for the starfish and the tarantula. And then the tarantula with the star before it, the starfish, was coming up as starantula. So perhaps, two that act as one, like that three-legged race. But also antula, I looked up, and we have that word, except it has an NG on the end of it. So basically it's a smooth giant clam without the NG on the end of it. And I'm just getting nitroglycerin, right? So without the pop or without the bang, right? So the star, who's smooth giant clam, right? Keeping to themselves, with scorpion's stinger out to infiltrate the clam, right? Because the bacteria get into the clam, creates the pearl. So here's the stinger out of the scorpion to infiltrate this giant clam, or from the white Bengal tiger. And the scorpion here definitely has the energy of jumper cables, right? They got the sting and then they got the clamps as well. The scorpion taming the beast, as the scorpion's sting is the bacteria in the giant clam to create the pearl, which is here the white Bengal tiger, who jumps through hoops, the ring of fire, the circle of trust, given a jump, just like I was talking about jumper cables for a car. So giving that shock to the system. Abundant energetic exchange with annoying gifts or poison a gift. The bacteria in the clam, with the King of Wands and the Hermit, with wise community of birds, cracking codes are inspired to and keep secrets or are trustworthy because maybe they won't tell. Taurus energy with the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated keeping their balls up in the air, focusing on that high vibe release from prison of the Empress upright with her chastity belt on. Slaving for the Empress in need of peace, with the Queen of Wands reversed, sick and tired of no options or unable to implement them. Mother with lawyer or mature woman here with wealthy man, transitioning lovers or family with false person or couple with masks, imprisoned or doing time at present. The main male magician with message of adjudication, which is the vehicle of the union, and the wounded warrior pathway lined with transformation, or beautiful woods and butterflies seen from the family room or an empty room, or completing a room in the home, or actually completing the house for occupation or to keep you occupied. There's a lot of energetic exchange here with man with thoughts of her sewing a quilt together. The sudden events or the epiphany. The tiger cracking codes without option or without twin, inspiring him with an idea or an epiphany about the woman. And that was at 1019, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. And I was also just getting another epiphany about the tiger. Because when I spread my parents' ashes, my dad came up the tiger and I came up as a zebra because I was similar to him with the stripes. But now they're having me come up as the tiger. But when I pulled those past life deck cards, it very much was bringing up my father and my mother, which I'll get to in a second. But just to give you that information as we go. So the tiger again here at 1019 is the passionate, strong central energy of the tiger. They are lunar energy, very at ease in the dark, and also the feminine energy. But when they get overstimulated, then they get unbalanced. And what they were recommending for the tiger is candle gazing. So you might want to look into those candles on the table. So the first grouping here is the black egg with the hummingbird pair, and then protecting the egg, what's in the dark, the ugly truth, cleared in a spark, that high vibe hum. The maze and the cross with the Five of Pentacles reversed and the Seven of Cups upright. The high honor in the main female, which is the throat chakra, which is a maze to unravel. Amazing grace with cross to bear. Coming together with Atlas, the weight and the world. Recovering with synchronicities, illusion and heaven in their eyes. The violet light and the third flame and fairy dust and rainbows. A high honor of the main female, or the child's honoring of the mother here. The Knight of Wands inspired by the High Priestess, secret or abilities, and Pisces and or Divine Feminine. The dark egg is confused about recovery of high honor with high vibe main female burdened by heaven in their eyes and synchronicities and options of what tools to use. Plugged in, turned on, the stingray is fully activated chakra system with the polar bear or light mama bear pushing grumpy bear masculine to wake up, to stand up in the Christ golden white flame and light the torch or reigniting the flame with expectation of lady in waiting and or the twin flame or waiting on choice of path or waiting to hear from the main female at 2:52, at 25 or 2 or at 28, as well as hot and cold treatment. So perhaps 1 minute they're hot and 1 minute they're cold, whether that has to do with the way you're being treated or the way they're feeling. Maybe they're having hot flashes or cold flashes. Well, so it's the energy of being turned on and then put on ice. What feels like the devil's activation heating up, of masculine and feminine energy pushing away, going cold. Focused on the feminine, healing, the divine masculine has to wait. Instead of the devil in the details, the devil's in the twins due to healing sexual energy. So I was definitely getting, we're healing sexual abuse energy now. We have Kundalini rising and not being used for the divine masculine. Satisfaction was the energy coming up here, right? Just because, he needs to release. And there's energy about health issues too. So it's all coming up in combination with each other. But I was definitely getting that energy of, so, with the twin flames, a lot of us feel the energetic, but also there's a love exchange always between the masculine and the feminine twins. But some twins feel that more strongly than others. And there's also sexual energy that can come up, which, remember, that sexual energy is that spark of life. It is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sought for energy. Because it's a very healing energy. It is the actual energy of life. So, there's wounding coming up around, rape and molestation, and having gone through those issues. And so many women have experienced those kind of issues, whether you see it as such or not. It doesn't really matter. It has to do with someone taking that sexual energy without your permission. And I told you all recently, this past year, I experienced a massage where it was definitely a molestation. So I don't know if they have some kind of something on the side with certain clients, and maybe they mistook us for some other clients, but it really didn't matter because it's illegal and you can't do that anyway, but you certainly can't do it morally without somebody's permission. So a lot of people don't fight that energy in court because people don't believe them, or they kind of sort of believe them, but they're like, well, it's really not that big a deal, so it's a big wound because you're basically shaming the person who was victimized. So there's a lot of wounding around most women, and that energy of taking your energy without permission. So the grumpy bear waking in the sun to energized buffalo and a busy bee, or carrying their own weight, or feeling heavy or weighed down, or a bee sting, or felt like a bee sting, with the power man nesting with the golden egg, and things looking up in a new direction. A choice of path, the twin flame with dreams come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. The Two of Cups connection in a new kind of relationship here. The announcement, the call, the wake-up call or judgment with ground control to Major Tom on the midnight train to Georgia or GA. And I was also getting gastrointestinal issues. Destined to journey in high vibe thrill with F.W. Baker actually on the train in the card here. But when I went to write F.W., it looked like T.F.W., like the twin flames, with Baker on the train. So Tom, here the ground control to Major Tom, and then we have Tom the tank engine here, and then Patty Cake, Baker's man, which came up earlier this week. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Roll it, pat it, and mark it with a B, where the bumblebee came up as one of the cards here. Put it in the oven for baby and me. The buffalo nesting with delivery, or devil on fire with passion and unexpected income. Trains coming in, a bee with direction, for two as one at night with sensual romance and subconscious illumination, with the Capricorn Cancer and weight of the world with no emotion to ground into. And again, the double moons were coming up. And what I realized here too, because I told you double moons several times this week, but 18 and 18, because 18 is the moon, is 36, which is the weight of the world upon your shoulders. That's that Atlas energy. And this goes into a pattern, so pay attention. At 10:53, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, or the knight in shining armor. At 1054, which is the Page of Swords then, we had Aquarius, Capricorn, and Cancer here, perhaps Taurus as well. Lots of number 2s in the cards here. And then here's the pattern where 18 and 18 is 36, or the weight of the world. Well, the union, which is 30, is 15 and 15, which is 2 devils. So literally the twins are seen as the devil. But what else came up recently this past week was that the Lover's card is the devil energy, the dark energy of the loving sexual relationship, because the mother is the light. She is the nurturing love relationship. So the sexual lovers is considered the devil energy. And so here we have the 2 twins of the 15 and the 15 equals the 30. The 16 and the 16, which are the 2 towers, the twin towers, is the 32 of the journey. The 17 plus 17, which is the dreams come true and the stars and the healing, is 34 of the energetic exchange. And then the 19 and 19, which is 2 sons, and so on. On the journey of the 2 devils, on the journey of the twin towers, in energetic exchange of 2 stars, and dreams with the weight of the world, 2 romancing the stone, with 19 and 19 then being 38 of the Queen of Cups, as 2 sons, 19 and 19, the SUN and the SON, or the Sun and the Central Sun, equaling Mary Magdalene, which is that Queen of Cups, with abilities. In 2020, double indemnity, 2 judgments, and clear vision, where 2 worlds of 21 and 21 equal 42 of the 2 world cups here, of the 2 of cups, right? So saying the world cup of the 2 of cups energy here. 40 innocent on all counts, can't be tried twice. And that's why Bill Cosby came up yesterday, because there was just an article out recently in the last month or two about his case being thrown out because he couldn't be tried twice for the same thing. So again, I'm going to say it again. The reason this came up is because the double moons that have been coming up all week, and the double planets, right? The match to Earth, right? So there's a matching solar system, which was supposed to come up, but that was coming up specifically in my downloads this week, about a matching planet to Mrs. Gaia. There's a Mr. Gaia. But there's 2 moons coming up as well, which is 18 and 18. So the 15 and 15 of the 2 devils being the union of the 30, the 16 and 16 of the 2 towers being the journey, the 2 17s of stars and healing and dreams come true of the energetic exchange between the twins, and the 18 and 18 being the 36 of Atlas and the weight of the world with the 2 moons. Then the summary of that is the 2 devils on the journey of twin towers, in energetic exchange of the 2 stars and dreams with the weight of the world, the 2 romancing the stone, and the 19 and 19, which is 38 of the Queen of Cups, as the 2 sons equal Mary Magdalene, the Queen of Cups, with abilities. In 2020 then, with 2 judgments, double indemnity, and clear vision, where the 40 is the Page of Cups, the innocent, who's innocent on all counts here, and can't be tried twice, which was the Cosby thing. And then the 21-21, which is the end of the major arcana, the 2 worlds, and the 2 worlds split of 21 and 21, equaling 42, which is the 2 of Cups, or the 2 world cups, 1 to love, like a tennis match back and forth, 1 love. At the full moon, the ship looking for a port, or even just a little bit of water to float the boat. The Black Panther, Mouse, and Mr. Ed committed to the fox leaving to clear the family tree, or their name, the Rainbow Bridge with Mr. Ed, and do Akashic record shadow work. Falling for little girl in the moon, as opposed. So a poised maybe coming up, but I was just getting a porpoise as well. So the little girl in the moon as opposed to the little boy in the moon, or the falling for the little girl in the moon, or their sweetness. My throat's getting a little bit sore. The mouse is too focused on details, or nitpicky, or small-minded, unable to see God's plan. The panther's committed to get the fox to leave the hen house to see the family and clear their issues, but embarrassed by the magician's treasure chest, or fell for the trick, or prize, or Carol Merrill and let's make a deal, or making things look pretty, or the panther married fooling around or making a fool of themselves, or tripped up with the little girl, or a wound of the shotgun wedding, and the mouse struggling to clear energies of the fox in the hen house, the magician with the tools, and the old man with concerns. Patience in standing up to a higher love and unity consciousness, or for those energies. A horse is a horse, of course, unless, of course, he's Mr. Ed. Education on the tree of life, with abundant family and heaven on earth, with a message of concern, with the Knight of Wands, Saggy, which is also my reference to God, Saggy, Mr. Ed, with a higher love, freedom, change, and expansion, that she is the moon, Daddy's little girl, with Christ, and now Sarah coming up, which is supposed to be the daughter of Christ and Mary Magdalene. So when I looked that up really quick, because I wasn't positive it was Sarah or not, what came up was a list of things, and what I was guided to go into was the convent of Jesus and Mary. It's called CJM in Delhi, India. It's a girls' school, and get this, it's established in 1919, but that's not the only double digits that came up here. It's part of a network that started in Lyon, France on October 1818, which is the two moons. It was established in two suns by Claudine Feveret and Mary of St. Ignatius. It moved to the new building behind Sacred Heart Cathedral in 1926, and there's a matching boys' school called St. Columba. It is known, this convent for girls is known for its discipline, obedience, and silence. So the 18 is the little girl, the 33 is coming up here as the father, and the 14 of the woman or mother of concern. And notice that 18 and 14 equals 32, which is the journey. The crow stands guard of the collective awakening. So I don't know if this, if anyone knows about this girls' school, if there's someone from India listening. There may be little girls who need to be saved at this place who are being abused. The crow stands guard of collective awakening, with faces of Christ and Mary, with CM, which is the initials of the word come, and centimeter. And then inchworm and centipede were both coming up. And of course, inchworm is again, the 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 are 8, 8 and 8 are 16, 16, 16 are 32. So there's those double digits again with the 15 through 21 that I just gave you. These are this is a pattern of 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And there's also a pattern coming up here of the 72, 144, which is the 36, which is the 18. So 9, 18, 36, 72, 144. The Rock of Gibraltar and the King of Wands is in the house, so I'm told here. At 11:31, which is Justice and the 5 of Wands, which can be conflict and competition and battles, but also can be games and fun and acting, sports, and the pursuit of happiness. The Game of Thrones came up. Instead of that, the Game of Stones, the sword and the stone. The crow in completion on Mount Everest, as the King of Wands is in the big house of judgment, decision, or wake-up call. The crow's distance of that straight line from city to city, a straight line, but the path of love has twists and turns like the sine wave. The number 8. The straight line leads straight to the big house, Judgment Day, God's or Mr. Ed's house. Number 20, source backing up the number 2, the divine feminine high priestess who sees both sides without tunnel vision. So again, the number 2 comes up as duality, but also it's the advantage of being able to see both sides of the situation, whereas the masculine is very one-sided energy. And you can't get to the center unless you can see both sides. So then at 12 p.m., the turtle was in very dark energies, pushing people away, leave me alone, I'll get there in my own time. But it's also that energy of don't fence me in, pushing the 2 swans away as the phoenix rises from the ashes. The beaver, who's hardworking and does give a damn, is very moderate and practical in their energy, taking a chance. They're very balanced in their energy. Taking a chance with the ship coming in either stuck without water or emotion, or sailing right through to two as one swans in puppy love, or two who are so in love they forgot to take the puppy out for a walk, or the staff left without their lead and they're hoping they come back really soon. The Knight of Cups and the Empress with the Queen of Wands and the Moon, the lovers transforming the way we work, looking back and holding on to what they got, and in conflict over sexual energy and inspiration and new passion for their work. The mature man courting for marriage and dealing with bad health and missed at work by staff and or kids and pets. Where the turtle is taking a risk to look back at the old man. Here the Knight of Cups and the Hierophant come up. Two as one swans sailing right on through, saving their courtship of the Empress and the Emperor. The Phoenix also rising two as one, ending conflict in a marriage. Perhaps the old man is trying to court their son's wife, or perhaps they did, which is a big betrayal. The Beaver and Pup, inspired by bad health, or bad health of old man, or the old man is waiting for the child to be married before their bad health requires him to retire. In a change for the Emperor and the Empress due to illness, conflict, or being sick to their stomach, or expanding needs, the child may be inspired to be a healthcare practitioner or that career after seeing what their parents went through at 12:18. So there's the 18 of the moon again. And then I wrote down 12:19 for the next section. So here we have the moon and the sun again with the hanging man, which is the Jesus energy of wisdom and seeing new perspectives, both sides. So the elk is a hothead and butterfly free with fire and air expanding the fire or egging them on, with the hyena chuckling off to the side. The loving man seems to feel like they're waiting forever, as twin flame is in unconditional love at the doctor's or for a procedure, or Dr. Jackal and Mrs. Hyde, impatient or impatient, implementing a plan if it doesn't work or if it becomes too much. The despair of the journey with sudden wealth and justice, and the divine mother shaman, and the little boy with nothing but time on their hands to love and feeling helpless, or perhaps unable to help, feeling like they hit the jackpot, and then poverty all at the same time. 0 point. Like feeling like it's a wash. The 12:26 is the hangman and the page of wands, with Bambi and the croc, dear one. And by the way, crocs were coming up in the advertisements online. I was getting a lot of the crocodile this week. So Bambi are the deer, and the croc, dear one. The innocent deer with crocodile laying in wait, cutting off their nose to spite their face, mid-moon details magnified, romantic subconscious, and the journey to Atlas, grounding and integrating, and mastery of love. The crocodile waiting for details before pouncing on dear one. Or sweet nurse in Crocs, explaining details or gathering details from a patient. Dear one, suffering in silence or perhaps didn't sleep, working hard as 38 or the Queen of Cups with loving family or results that are really good here, and so case is closed as the sun shines in on an ending or open and shut case. The lion, the owl, and the golden egg. The leader with wise one in their hearts, with a breakthrough for lovers with the masks and not what it seemed. The page of cups may be an innocent mistake or revealed vulnerabilities in public meet, decision, or judgment that came naturally. The nesting egg in an indoor terrarium, which was also coming up. I never watched this kind of stuff, but there was a quick Elon Musk video which I watched that he had talked about putting some kind of greenhouse on Mars. So it's the same type of energy here. Destined to the wounded warrior surrendering and coming clean, getting clean, or cleaning up their act or space, with Leo, Libra, Sagittarius reversed, and Capricorn also here. There's a thief in the community of lovers, with 24, 39, and 15, which are the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Cups, lovers, or a couple taking advantage of an innocent child, or a child who stole their hearts. Light and dark side of the lovers, with the Page of Cups and Knight of Cups, the wise innocence between them, or child coming of age and takes a lover. And then I was getting Awakening, and I watched the movie Awakening last night. It's an old movie, but if you've never watched it, you got to watch it. It's a really great movie. So Awakening, and it's about patients who are catatonic, where they found the drug that woke them up. But it's really good. So check that out. That was on Netflix. Okay, I hadn't seen that in a long, long time, so it's really good to watch that again. So Awakening. And there's a lot of, questionable things in that movie. Do we have the right to wake someone up who hasn't given us permission to wake them up? Because are they guaranteed to wake up? Are we going to hurt them more than they are already? Or once they wake up, are they going to stay woken? And what happens to them psychologically, emotionally, spiritually when they go through all of that? And what if they lose it all in the end? So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered there. So something to contemplate there. And then the bat comes up, lost in space still, in spiritual union and peace, saving for a change and going within as the hermit, or perhaps saving for a new car or house or lease, or perhaps to get out of a lease. Then we have the unicorn and the raccoon with a mask. Oh, by the way, my daughter cut all her hair off again today. So that's the kind of energy that's coming up. She looks beautiful, by the way. Unicorn and raccoon with mask, a message or letter or document of cutting ties, cords, or hair and flying high. The King of Cups upright with Saturn over his head smiles to themselves with healing and forgiving, with great fortune, with an official person. New passion for wounded warriors surrendering, inspired by the Fool's Journey, with oyster and lamb with ears wide open, clammed up, an easy target here. Sudden stardom or galactic travel of explosive sun or light, sunshine or the powers that be, and restriction here, with an epiphany about the sun and the lamb, which is the Christ energy, the Page of Cups child star, and the injustice in receiving a gift or gifts from or as the privileged lady. Dreams come true, hanging out and being wise. Aquarius, Scorpion, Leo, and Libra reversed, or lady with Libra in their chart, and the lamb targeted by the man with child star with gifts. So then we have this next big message of the day, which was at 120 to 23. 20 is the Judgment card, 23 is the King of Wands, and 1 is the Magician. So the swans, the choice, which is like the Two of Wands type of card, but it's like the stairway on the Titanic ship. The King of Cups reversed, and the Great Fortune. So 2 swans as one go around the rock, and that came up in my harmonic egg experience, where they showed me the life of 2 swans so much in love, where they go around a rock and part, but always have full faith that they will meet up again, choosing different doors with conditions of love and great fortune on the Fool's Journey, along with inspiration. The wolf here is dazed and confused with the newbies, the worm and the buffalo, and the turtle in the dark telling the swans to go on without them if they're too slow, right? They have to do it in their own time. Exposing sunshine or innocent pup in spiritual union of maturity and peace. And the power lady with gifts and are presenting or presently watching the fox fly the coop on a mission of a higher love, the key to their freedom, the Christ consciousness, and standing up for themselves. In choices made and which doors to open. On the red carpet where blood flows as one, and then when you get to the valve of the vein, to give a boost on a break from each other. The Two of Cups with intense connection here of deception with manipulator or feeling insecure without tools, unable to manifest, or connection seen as evil if it is sexual or sensual, in a negative exchange or not expressing true feelings, about lack of joy and overindulgence, bad influences and social distancing, and third parties as the high priestess, secret or psychic abilities, both floating up by the heart, one going with it and one resisting the sudden changes without, or Pisces upright and Scorpio reversed, or Pisces bliss and Scorpio avoiding disaster, resisting or resistant to sudden changes. The lover's high priestess and the King of Cups poor boy, judicating healthcare issues at home and or conflicts in the pursuit of happiness and high honor of having good health as a maturing man, changing and wanting more freedom, with a message of the chariot or vehicle to the privileged lady, hanging out, seeing new perspectives, and inspired by great fortune at 205, which is the high priestess, and the Hierophant. So the eagle is landing here, guarding the nest, the twins on path, still conditions of inspiration, while the fox, a cool cucumber with resonating energies, the eagle with wise community of birds, hanging out while the fox is cracking the whip with the rod and staff, justice or losing patience or just impatient. Birds of a feather flock together as the man is out the back jack, ghosting or stealing away or lying or cheating their way to the top as the wealthy man in transition. Or birds free to fly and hang out and be wise, while the man must find a way to pay for all that, for dependents who spend or who lose power, money, and independence on their path. That the spender draws in the showy wealthy man and vice versa, because that is their path. To be more neutral then brings the more ideal relationship, each responsible for themselves, yet want to assist each other because of that, with what they love. With wisdom and justice and transition of the wounded warrior, the eagle on their own, protecting the nest from the fox at 214, which is then again Valentine's Day, which came up a lot this week as very significant. And that's the 2 of the high priestess and the 14 of the higher love. So when my flower basket broke and fell off the ceiling, it was definitely the message of a shift of the end of an era. At 216, we have the high priestess and the 16 of the tower. The crow and the unicorn draw a straight line, both awakening the collective and standing guard. The crow, loving lady, spending, losing money, or making a big expenditure with dysfunctional or loss of a mature woman. The loving lady is present with gifts, a mature woman or mother receiving them, or taking care of mother or grandmother, or love, family, and community. The unicorn and polar bear pushing the little devil, or perhaps a bit cold, and in conflict with thief, or in a losing battle with the Queen of Wands, 24, or her mother, and seeing them as a couple of thieves. The loving mother light and the dark mother pushy. The loving lady with presents and gifts. A dark lady plays, the Queen of Wands, with fire, or thieves, or in other words, playing with the element, right? Just like an element on a stovetop is the same type of energy as that fire. So the sad raccoon with the mask and the stuck tarantula, masked and at the Y in the road. The wise birds or owls well balanced here, with the snake in the garden, the poison apples, which are the catalyst to choose a new path, right? Kind of lights a fire under your butt. With issues at work, but success in leading the way. Little girl on the journey of subconscious and high vibe destiny. Perhaps tarantula bit the apple, or the snake bit them, or the tarantula bit the raccoon. All in the family now at 233, the high priestess, and the 33 of the Christ vibration. And there's definitely that energy of sharing the juice, if you know what I mean. The leader catching the next train, the day the music died, right? So that's definitely like the last, I was getting the train to Georgia came up, as well as the day the music died. So that song is coming up along with the end of an era. The little girl with wise counsel and issues at work, but man needs success and attention and catalyst, a trigger, forcing them to make a decision. The phoenix, the crocodile, and the starfish, I was just getting a crock of shit, so that could be coming up as well. Rising from the ashes, being seen by the crock and cutting it off to the star. A dark agenda or a dark attack here, looking closer, grounding and integrating and mastering to self-love, to examine their intentions, to dive deep with new love inspired by the written word, letter, or seal. The fool free to leap in transition, in death, in ending, or dark night, or one who's unhappy or dissatisfied being alone. Unexpected income and man with concerns, and lady with message of concern here. With 44, the grounding integrating of love, as well as boredom, as well as the weight of the world and passions, love and passions, concerned about standing up for self, and unity consciousness and a higher love, with patience and balance. So the phoenix is rising, rushing in to start over, free with unexpected income. The crocodile with well wishes and transitioning to man with concerns. A superficial letter or notes and dissatisfied with a message of concern. Passed on, perhaps. The gift of the hermit and transition of a child, burdened by suffering in silence or perhaps by their sister, and the page of swords reversed with negative self-talk or rumors about 5D connection and focusing on the heart. The man in despair on journey to sudden wealth, and there's the energy of being dumped or overwhelmed, or the changes being overwhelming, the sudden wealth being overwhelming, the concern that the child is being courted or married for a man to get free labor from them with no expectations or needing nothing in return, right? Because someone, like a girl who would kiss a guy's ass because they love them so much, and the masculine coming back finally because they want to marry someone who will work for them for free, so they want to pay someone, right? So there's that, and of course that's not about love. So so that was that message of the day. And then just quickly from my past life deck, the cards that I pulled were the underlying energy of leaving or travel, which is a picture of here, I'll show you the pictures here. I do have them. So this is the underlying energy that came up, and this is the underlying energy, and these guys were behind. So we have the vows, and then the persecution and inquisition of the dark mother energy, right? And then the upside down male-female relationship. It's already bad upright, but this is the resolution of that, right, by parting. And then we have leaving or travel. So this is someone who leaves, right, where there's an issue. But the suitcase on the train also comes up as the traveling salesman, that the dark mother comes from the salesman father who's never home and leaves her with the children, who then will forever look for the man who will not leave them, right? While the mother has no masculine-feminine relationship, but now because the father was never there, and then she had all the work, and she ends up being the dark mother because she's losing her temper because she has too much to do. She then becomes the bad guy. And so the mother came out like this. These were the first four cards that came out were the mother, and then the second four cards that came out was the father. So here's the mother, and they all came up upright, and this deck was not all upright here. So she came up with the two kids reading the book, the lessons and the blessings, which may be difficult because there's no time, and then the orphan that the child becomes because the mother and the father aren't there, having to look to her angels, right? Learning how to heal herself by calling in her angels to protect her. And this can have to do with the mother as well. So then the father comes up here as the next four cards as the knight, right? He's sworn to protect and defend. And there's the energy of the father and the daughter, the little girl. He's there to protect, right? The star seeds, the ancient ones who have to make it to adulthood so that they can do their mission work. And then we have the energy of the child here, which is the unicorn of the child, the third eye, the purity of the child. And the warrior is their bodyguard. The father takes care of the child. And think about all the battles and wars that your father has fought for you to protect the children. Not only you, but for the whole country, right, when they go to war. And then the energies here between the father and the mother as well, because he is also the bodyguard of the mother with the children, with neither of them having time for the children, right? Because the mother's home with to do everything, and the father's never home because he's out battling at war. And then there's the orphan energy of the feminine. I was just getting Orphan Annie. But the orphan is definitely coming up as the little girl. I was definitely talking about the little girl today. You know, because little girls look for angels. It's not typical for the little boy to be talked about as the one who looks for their angels when no one else is there for them. So I was just getting angels and demons as well. So those at war are seen as the demons, and then the feminine seem like the angels. So from the masculine's point of view, they're saying, you know, but the feminine can do no wrong. They can stay home and not have to work, and then complain when we've been out all day that they're lonely and they want to go on vacation and blah, 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 and they spend all the money, and yet they don't do any of the work, right? So there's always complaints on both sides of the spectrum there. So the vows of the Dark Mother and issues in the relationship, leaving the traveling salesman of the suitcase, which is so funny because when I was 8, my dad took me. I was supposed to go to my mom's parents for a week and then to my dad's parents for a week at a cottage I'd never been to in the countryside. And I never made it through the first week because my mom's parents are very detached intellectuals. And so, you know, I came from a family of 5 kids that was crazy all the time. And so it was kind of scary being in that house all alone where my grandmother was down in the basement doing the food stuff and I wouldn't know where she was. So I ended up going home early. But when we took the, you know, the latest train was a metro liner, which was really fast for that time. And as we got off the train, I dropped my suitcase in the Wayne well, in the train well. And so it's funny that the suitcase comes up on the train track in this picture. And I was just getting I was getting Wayne's coding for some reason. I don't know if somebody's painting. So the traveling salesman, or just never home, causes the Dark Mother to become the Dark Mother with resentment for being left alone with the kids. The girl's always seeking the love of a man who doesn't leave them, learning to rely on your guides and angels. The father, the Knight of Swords, to avenge the child, guarding the unicorn, her bodyguard to protect the wisdom that needs to be passed onward, protecting her from her mother's fury, reading bedtime stories, or no time for that, impatient and unloving, leaving the orphan to the angels or soldiers gone by. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. So that goes on. There's multiple verses. If you've never heard that before, it's an old one. If you want to see the different verses. So it's about the flowers and the soldiers and all that kind of stuff. And then I was getting from City of Angels. In the arms of the angels, far away from here. And I forget the rest of the words, right? But it comes up, may you find some comfort here for the orphans and the blind men. Okay, so now we go back to the union read, which again, today's the 13. And what was the energy today? Did I even write it? No. So let's see, 22, 24, 26, 27 was yesterday, so 28 today is the twin flame energy of the choice of path. Yeah, 28. So we have the energy of the 13 of transition and death, dark night of the soul, and the twin flames. The union was at 606, 40, 50, 60. And the underlying energy was the Page of Pentacles, the central energy, the Four of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands, the closing energy. The Page of Pentacles, curious about their abilities. The Divine Masculine's heart in the Crystal Batcave, present to moment with gifts. And the incoming Divine Feminine, abundant Empress. The Mother Lode, opening their arms to the truth of peace on earth, and ready to play ball, light ball. Mother and child moving to truth and peace, submerged in water, dolphin times 3. And then I was getting Delphi. Dolphi is the dolphin, and Delphi is the plant delphinium. And then Daffy Duck was coming up. Let's get the ball rolling. 2 dolphins looking to mother. And then we have the 4D of the divine feminine ignited and flamed. So maybe some swelling going on. I know my back's been burning a lot this week. Water to light the fire. So, right, that doesn't make sense, right? Water to light the fire. But there needs to be water here. It's like, lubrication, like standing in mud. Again, they say that you really need the water to connect to your higher self. So again, making sure to drink a lot of water, or plenty. Don't drink too much because you'll flush out your electrolytes. But 60 ounces a day is the typical per day. You can check it out online. So the divine feminine is ignited and flamed, or needing water to light the fire, as a divine masculine chariot's ascending fast behind her to catch up, bridging by ascending with the world in their right hand, with wishes to grant. The 5D is the Page of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, and the Alchemy card. The divine feminine with the masked boy playing or toying with flame. The divine masculine alchemizing the pit in their stomach to a higher love, bridging in his heart, being practical and moderate. In the 6D is the 7 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, and the shadow. The divine feminine's heart in the E-tower with the divine masculine outside. The divine masculine in the shadows, or meeting on the dark grid, bridging an energetic exchange in the circle of trust with the arrows of love as a plane went overhead, and that was at 6:20, the lovers and judgment. At 6:21, the lovers in the world is the divine feminine of excitement to begin, the boy without his flame in the divine feminine's heart, the divine masculine trying to put the pieces together, and the bridge of the divine feminine in the world ascending through the divine masculine's heart in the crystal Batcave to energetic exchange at 0 point. The outgoing divine masculine is the Queen of Swords passing downloads to come together and be present with their gifts. Cowabunda, so instead of cowabunga, it was coming up abunda as in abundance. Cowabunda, Ace of Peaceful Movement. Ballet, the Sage of 70, or 70, which is the chariot and source energy backing it up, of the chariot, the divine feminine in the divine masculine, and the human body embodiment of source in reunion with flame in the present moment with gifts. At 6:27, the lovers and the flame, the Ace of Wands. The overall number here was 40 of the Page of Cups, that innocent love, with the horizontals coming up to 18, 4 and 18. Here's the 2 moons and the 4 of the Emperor again. Vertically, they come up as 0, 1 of the Magician, 6 of the Lovers, 8 of the Strength card, 12 of the Hangman, 2 zeros again, which is source or space, 7 of the Chariot, and 6 of the Lovers. And the messages came up as the Emperor between 2 moons or 2 cancers, and a message of love, or subconscious of the Emperor and the subconscious of the Page of Cups, which they often come up together because it's the inner innocent child of the Emperor here. Source was space between, or suddenly, like magic, all of a sudden dancing, with wise 007 lover, the Page of Cups. Sourcing epiphanies, the magic Page of Pentacles, who's curious about their abilities, hanging out with 007, which the other day came up 006 plus 1, hanging out with 007, and 7 is the Chariot, which is the feminine within the masculine, ascending. The 007 lover, the Page of Cups, which is that innocent puppy love. And it was coming up as James bonding. So here we have the geese flying by. There's a whole bunch of geese that were flying over right at that moment at 6:33 to 4, which is the Christ vibration and the energetic exchange between. And then again, the 18 plus 18 of the feminine and masculine moons, the 9, which are both 9s, just like the 72, right? So the 72 and 72 is the 144. 72 is a 9 and 18 is a 9. So you get the 9 and 9 is 36 of the Atlas, like the 72 plus 72, which are both 9s. But they're also the 4 of Pentacles times 2, which is the 8 of Pentacles, or the 76, which is the 8 of Pentacles, right? So 2 4s is the 8, which is that creative work of manifestation, you know, doing what you truly love to do. So again, the cycles of 9, 18, 36, 72, 144, as opposed to the 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, that cycle. Those were both coming up. 2 moons and the Emperor. 2 subconsciouses, and the third flame is God. So it's the 2 subconsciouses of the masculine and feminine, and the third flame of God bridging them. So then we have the twin flame read in front of you now. And that was cut and dealt at 10 p.m. last night. So triple zeros of source energy backing up the 1 of the magician. And then at 10:11, which just the other day we were talking about 10:11 because Brittany Murphy's birthday was 11:10. And then CE of crystals came up, which is the seal of crystals, which is the cry stalls, the being Christ-like. And then RY stalls comes up after that. So that's why there were stalls, because of the purges, the seal of the purge, the seals that needed to be broken. And then at 10:27, I completed this read with the Wheel of Fortune and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, with Luna, the Lovers. Hold on one second. I just have to tell him I'll call him back. It's my son. I was trying to get back to him earlier. Okay. So we have Luna, the Lovers, or the major arcana for this read. Before that is Indigo, which is the Magician, and the Shadow, which is the Devil. And after the read came up the Higher Self, along with Abundance, which is the Empress. 1 sword, 2 pentacles, 2 wands, and 2 cups came up, which is the 14 of the Temperance card and the Higher Love and the Angels, and 22 of the Fool's Journey, which is also a power number in numerology. It's very much the physical 3D reality world, and manifesting, mastering that. The 9 of Pentacles came up, but the Page of Cups and the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles were the major players in this read, along with that sovereign energy of the 9 of Pentacles. Before the read were 2 pages, the Wands and Swords, and then after the read, 2 queens, the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So they're all separated here, except for the Page of Cups, who is with the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, along with the 9 of Pentacles, who could be 2 kids. So we have double 2s. 22 is the major number here, and not just from the 1422, but 2 2s came up in the read. So it came up twice already. The Fool's Journey, and it's also a 4. And then we have the 11 of Justice. Those were the 2 most significant. And then 1, 2, 3 Jump, as well as the 89 of the Phi energy, expanding, contracting, or in the middle, reflecting. We also have the 38 of the Queen of Cups, the 12 of the Hanging Man, 35 of the energetic, or the Wounded Warrior rather, and then the 58 of the 4 of Swords, which is the 5D connection in meditation. Perseverance was the code line here regarding numbers 29, which is reduced to 11. 29 is the 3 of Wands, being present in the moment or to your gifts. And the 11 of Justice, which is truth and balance. And the message regarding perseverance. And it was broken up into PE and then R severance. It could be perseverance or PE R severance. So the message here was seeing the Sophia, expand and contract, 2 sovereigns, 1 of 2 supporting the other, the moose or elk per severance package, or Friday is your severance, right? Because thank God it's Friday. Also the sudden event of Sophia reflecting 2 sovereigns, 1 of 2, the low star or the low man on the totem pole of perseverance here. But I was also getting this word, the peyela, which means repetition, but also to pee and to kick came up here. And also saying reflection, dealing with fidelity, and the gift of purging, supporting the hostile, the destruction, the reputation. Right? So the purging is a very necessary thing to release all that negative energy. Right? So says the reflecting person who may not be expanding and contracting, but staying in the middle and reflecting instead, so they don't get to that boiling over point of needing to purge. But either way, it's fine. It supports hostilities, destruction, and reputation. And then I was getting, it's the time for loving. Right, so it's the time of the season for loving. Is that the Doors? I can't remember. And that starts out, that was in, that was in the movie. That was in Awakening. Well, I had to write it down because it was coming up very significantly. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Right, so here's Daddy's little girl again coming up. And that was, he had never, he just woke up and he hadn't heard music. He'd never heard this before. There were no radios and cars before. And so this was new to this little boy who's now a man. So that was very cool. But that's such a great song to have brought up. At 11:03 is Justice and the Three of the Empress. The Three of Swords upright. And below that was the Indigo reverse, Page of Wands reverse, the Page of Swords upright, the Shadow, and the Five of Cups. Insecure, unable to manifest. The Page of Wands reversed, frustrated, with a message of the Shadow, grieving loss and regret of separation, heartbreak, or disappointment. At the workplace, frustrated and uninspired, offering money, time, and effort, or perhaps an increase in the medicine with no options, because perhaps you're still suffering. The King of Cups, disappointed suddenly, with an epiphany of an awakening, sunshine, exposure, or getting over guilt and shame of being out of control. And also there's the energy of the thrill of awakening and the agony of defeat, right? The thrill of awakening and then realizing after it's so exciting, the initial bubble phase wears out, right? And then you're just stuck with all of a sudden having issues or not being able to leave the place because you're dependent on them for medicine. Awakening from a catatonic state, right? Same thing as the movie. Awakening to having been sleeping through all of this connection to your higher self. At 11:38 to 39, which is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, and I whistled there. Riding horseback or bareback, a child again, sneaking around at night or up awakening while everyone's asleep or the adults are sleeping, being very childlike. The Knight of Swords rushing back to the mystery of synchronicities and heaven in their eyes that gets them free to their destiny. At 11:54, Justice and the Page of Swords, the message. Free to leap with loyal friend or friends, or free from a teacher or the doctor, free from a parent or free from school, with sun at their back, right? Can't wait till the day I graduate, where I can be free with the sun at my back. Stay optimistic about your love life here, and beneath that was new love. The Knight of Cups upright offering love to Fairy Justice or Tinkerbell, with the Page of Cups upright unable to express their emotions, moving to peace but frustrated and uninspired, not aroused, or writing all night but can't figure out what to say, getting caught outside having sex perhaps, or perhaps wanting to get caught outside, just being able to be outside. So again, it's all in perspective of what your situation is, right? So if you're never allowed outside, getting caught having sex outside with a girl would be the most amazing thing in the world. But for someone who has a normal life, right, then they could go to jail, and that would maybe screw up their life. And so frustrated, wanting to rebel, a teenage boy in a grown man's body. Adventure with 55, which is the Ace of Swords, the truth, and beneath it, karmic completion. Going crazy, over isolated, or now coming out at 12:11, the Hanging Man and Justice. Where the King of Pentacles reverse is ungrounded, losing money or status, going crazy, or dealing with a crazy person in a twist of fate, needing to swallow their pride, or dealing with poor judgment. Imprisoned Queen of Cups is healing and forgiving. Trapped without curtains, or without a loving lady who's healing. Virgo reversed, Libra reversed, and Aquarius reversed here. Healing and then regressing again. Out of control, destined, uninspired to a crazy adventure. Where then the underlying energy here is the Page of Swords boy. I was just getting the movie too, Beautiful Boy, which was so torturous. It was about a drug addict child who, it's a painful movie because it never ends, right? There was no solution. They were, once they got hooked on crack or whatever the drug is that, very rare for anyone to get off of it. That's their whole life, is about worrying about whether your child's going to die tomorrow. So the sovereign innocent, destined to be frustrated, or without the Page of Wands reversed, ending, death, dark night, and transition, unstable high priestess, secret or psychic abilities, ending pain or painful end for the wounded warrior, the Queen of Swords upright with the truth of codependencies and or loss of their abilities at 1232, the hanging man and the journey, bleeding out or death and the wounded warrior deeply wounded, but the Queen of Swords upright, temptation, is waving hello. And that was coming up too. There's an energy around that in awakening, around a girl in the cafeteria, right, that the man-child met after he awakened, who they had a very cute relationship. The recent past here is the Page of Cups upright, the innocent love in coming together, depressed, breaking patterns and dropping facades, the Chariot bold move in needing to manifest, perhaps manifesting big with the divine feminine, and the world ending pain with the truth to come clean about losing patience, or the fallen angel's instability, right? Maybe they have a chronic illness or an issue or a move or a visit, or the party's over with connecting one-to-one with the Queen of Pentacles upright here, where in the movie, right, he was regressing and he wouldn't be able to have a relationship with her, so he let go of her. At 1238, which is the hanging man and the Queen of Cups, the Jesus and the Mary Magdalene, where he would be hung, so he had to let go of her. The Knight of Swords upright, with a message for the Knight of Pentacles upright, and the Knight of Pentacles wanting to help, coming together to work something out, awakening to justice, an idea for truth and balance. The foundation of the Eight of Wands reversed, of delays and heated exchange, not telling their true feelings when sharing or settling out suddenly in order to be happy with themselves, despite the unhappy ending, and negative energy passing by. The central energy of the Two of Pentacles reversed, of the Scrooge or the tripping up, and not surrendering to the universe, unable to conceive or conceive of it not working out, and the truth presented to get others to get clean, to appreciate what is, or impatient or impatient to visit and connect with the Queen of Pentacles upright. The challenge being the Nine of Pentacles sovereign, who is a catch, moving to peace and synchronicities and choices and illusions of heaven in their eyes and innocence. The negative past or falling out with a lover or just having had no affection and striking out, needing to swallow their pride with the Queen of Wands reversed, dumped or purging, overwhelmed post-war, and the harsh truth of tackling the bore. The Queen of Wands reversed, sick and tired, or losing patience in a losing battle, or ending conflict with the Knight of Wands reversed player, falling short, or paralyzed by his own passions. So meanwhile in the movie, I wasn't even realizing this comes up for him too, but in the movie Awakening, the doctor, who's Robin Williams, the nurse is in love with him the whole time, but he has no idea. And it's not because he's arrogant. He's just so in his own head, right? He's shy and he's very within. So, yeah, it's about that relationship too. The divine feminine, Pisces, or wild world of sports, or wide world of sports, completion with the King of Wands reversed, or the world coming between the Knight of Wands reversed and the King of Wands reversed, who may be partying with the Queen of Wands reversed, Taurus, or with mutual friends, which is coming up as the Hierophant reversed as well, perhaps in a divorce or breaking contract, religion, or without options and refusing to go back to the past. And now the King of Wands reversed with an emotional release in a breakup and no affection, or X with clarity about the Knight of Swords healing them, the Emperor reversed out of control, grounding and integrating boredom and mystery, love. The Knight of Pentacles offering help to close the distance gap, night and day, or with pets and kids. So it could be, you know, crazy pets and kids running around naked. And then the Queen of Pentacles with their heart broken, or in separation from the High Priestess, or perhaps from themselves, or with a message through the Queen of Swords, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community of wealth, and the Page of Cups, loving child or innocence or puppy love, or Ten of Pentacles between the Queen of Swords and that message of love. Maybe it never got to one or the other. The Queen of Pentacles upright dumped or dumping on the Page of Wands reversed, wounded warrior, with the Knight of Pentacles offering help to the Queen of Swords, seeing synchronicities or with options, fantasizing. Soon as the King of Pentacles, after holding on to what's left and dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, and standing up for themselves about the 5D connection or taking a break, the King of Pentacles upright and the King of Cups upright, with clarity or new information for clarity about the King of Wands reversed and the King of Swords upright, perhaps a lawyer of his, in a divorce or broken contract, grieving failure or failure to launch, but under the radar, of course. The twin flames seeing themselves as the moon or Luna, romantic temptation and justice or divorce, with Cancer upright, Capricorn upright, and Libra upright here, under the radar, moving to peace. Present to recovery and ending conflict, with the Knight of Wands reversed player, perhaps up knights, with passion, codependency, forgiving and learning, and romantic feelings, and around the twins or how they're seen is the Two of Cups upright connection. That suffering in silence, or perhaps dealing with your sister, and the wounded warrior, uncomfortable with their emotions, implementing a plan with the Knight of Cups proposing to the Sovereign. At 108, the Magician and the Dance. The block being the Lovers reversed. The divorce or the grieving process, a lack of affection and perseverance, but even more so change, self-love, and love partnership. The Devil castrated, marking their territory, with the King of Cups or the Knight of Cups' father babysitting the girl. The Knight of Pentacles proposing to the Queen of Swords, fantasizing a new life, or that the offer is bigger than what it was, as the King of Wands reversed is focused on completion, Pisces, and or the divine feminine world, and having to come together with the Queen of Wands reversed divorcing, or divorced or broke away without an option here. The Ace of Pentacles offer of a new life, awakening and in need of help, the inability to get moving or frustrated and uninspired with the higher self, or offering time, money, and effort, but no sex with the higher self, or hoping to ignite passion with them and tame their inner beast. After the Empress reversed death, or ending or transition, the Empress reversed with the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords both upright, perhaps a mother or grandmother has passed, and the Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords went to channel and connect with them. Or grieving separation and not expressing feelings of illusion, romance, subconscious connection, the Page of Cups upright, message of love, and dropping the ball, or crystal perhaps, challenged by the Sovereign and the King of Pentacles, which can be a father and child also, a breakup or lack of affection, with the King of Wands reversed offering a new life, in hopes of passion with the higher self, without their mother, or without abundance, or two daughters, or difficult mother or boss and daughter, or workers who are not talking to each other. Indigo reversed, Page of Wands reversed, and the Page of Swords upright, in a codependent relationship of misery loves company, heartbroken, disappointment, or in separation, with the Page of Cups healing with the Queen of Cups, perhaps mother and child or siblings, or just two water signs, and delays in the balancing act of the King of Wands reversed, challenged by the Sovereign or their sovereignty at night, with the King of Pentacles, connecting in non-physical relationship with lover to offer new life in hopes of igniting passion with higher self, without mother, or Pisces in lack, with Queen of Pentacles slowing down and Queen of Swords getting tired of the ugly truth at 125, the Magician and the Knight of Wands. And there is your read today. So it's already 1:19, so let's just do, sorry. Let's just pull, let's just pull a quick energy deck card to wrap this up. So what is the takeaway from this read today? And these two just fell right out as I was shuffling. Actually, there's 4 of them. We have 30 of the union, which is also the home. And obviously it's the anxiety of the little girl leaving the home, leaving the nest. And there's those 2 butterflies trying to get them to leave and come out and play. And the broken heart of the 9 of the hermit, staying in where it's nice and safe, where somebody else isn't going to crack her heart back open again. And then the 3 of the empress of abundance and nature, right, Gaia, and the 8 of the dance of indecision and where to go. Like, so if I were to leave the house, where am I supposed to go? I don't know. You know, when I think of stuff, it doesn't make me happy. It makes me happy to stay home. So there's the dance of indecision as well. So again, the home, the union, the hermit, the collective consciousness, the endings with compassion of completion, allowing the heart to heal completely, and then the abundance of nature, that nature heals, to go outside and just commune with nature. And then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. The dance of the masculine and feminine. And then we have the bottom of the deck, which is hostilities, and the hostile came up in the read as well. So this is like the page of wands energy of 26. Okay, so the hostilities of the inner masculine coming up here, of the child, and the anxiety of the inner feminine child. The 18 was definitely coming up as the little girl of the moon, right? So here's the little girl and the little boy, the inner children of the twins. Page of wands, and the moon child, daddy's little girl. Right, so the warrior who's angry and the little girl who's scared. And behind that, look what else we have. Right behind them is the masculine and feminine with hearts. Okay, so this is the divine masculine and feminine and their inner children. And prior to that is the door to spirit, purifying on the journey. How perfect. So that was the underlying energies of you and your inner child. And then focusing on the little girl today with the broken heart and needing to spend time in nature and cross that bridge when you get to it. You don't have to think about it ahead of time. Let go of the anxiety. Just go out in nature. Don't have to have a specific destination in mind. So that's that. Do I want to do... Yeah, I'll give you a Journey of Love card here. Final card. What is the takeaway from all this? So again, the inner child, the inner masculine in both of you. You both have that inner masculine and feminine. The masculine's dealing with hostility and the feminine's dealing with anxiety. The devotion to the small, so that's what we're talking about, the inner children today. The 32 of the journey, devotion to the small, and also the plants as well. And then the towering magnificence of the union. After nurturing your inner child here. And transmuting in the Christ flame. The 31 is the conflict within. The conflict, the competition, the battles. The battles fought and won or lost. All right, so the devotion to the small of the inner child on the journey. The journey of towering magnificence to the union of the 30 of coming together, of the 3 of the Empress as well. And you understand the significance of this union, that you had to walk in Jesus's shoes to get there. The Christ flame of the conflict. And then the pearl threaded of the feminine, which ties us all together. The 38 of the Mary Magdalene. Okay. So those are the messages there. So it's definitely about the little girl today and the little boy. And the bottom of the deck is heart fire. The 1 of the magician. The red, the heart, the Christ consciousness within the heart, within the layers that are peeled back within the heart, right? The trauma that's in the heart that needs to be cleared. And to dream a little with the 51, the King of Swords. For the feminine energy, dealing with focusing, putting the power in your heart of the Christ and unity consciousness. And dream a little. with the Magician and the King of Swords. Right? The man of integrity. And let's see. So 32. I'm sweating like crazy. Whew. Devotion to the small. She bows. She honors growth. She sees that within the smallest flower there is the teaching of the earth, the gospel of Gaia, the mystery of life demonstrated. She recognizes that she too is of nature, subject to the mysteries of growth in life, that in honoring nature and taking pleasure in life, she opens her heart to allow great creation to happen through her. This is the feminine wisdom alive in men and women with open hearts. There is an innate wisdom within you that understands this devotion to the Earth Mother as an important step in fulfilling your spiritual destiny on this planet. She's speaking to you now, letting you know that there's a small change happening, something that is growing within you that you may recognize but not think is so important, yet she tells you now that it is very significant. Soon you will see that what you thought was a seed to yield a single flower is actually blossoming into a lush garden of manifestation. Gratitude and love for the small changes happening are leading you into fullness that you can only dream of, so enjoy. The message of this oracle for you is that your blossoming is occurring now, and the Earth Mother's gratitude for your presence within her being, for the work you are doing to help other human beings. She asks for you to surrender any concerns that you have to her, to let her creative power continue to gently guide you into your rightful place in this world, that you may shine as you were born to do, in service to the evolution of this planet. She is helping you now, so trust her. Okay, so definitely messages of concern were coming up all over my messages of the day. So it's about releasing any anxieties, releasing hostilities. And here's the poem. A flower is a poem. And I was singing to you, where have all the flowers gone? So that's perfect. A flower is a poem that tells you the truth of a thought in the fragrance of a dream, as fleeting as a heartbeat and as lasting as a memory. So don't forget to drink your water and get your rest, get your joy, get your nature. Breathe. And rise and be love. See you soon, guys. Have an amazing day.